Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is Real Big Ten Football Talk Plus One with Chris. I am Chris. Welcome to a fun-filled, pandemic-rich Week 11 / Week 4, or is it Week 5 of the Big Ten college football season? I forget because of the pandemic-shortened season for the Big Ten. But be that as it may, as the title suggests, early season / almost mid-season. Defacto B1G West Division Championship. Number 23, Northwestern at Purdue. What am I talking about? Well, let's be honest here. Both teams are undefeated, which is more than what most teams in the Big Ten West Division can say. There's only other big undefeated Big Ten West team is the Badgers of Wisconsin, but they've only been able to play one game, sadly because of the pandemic. That is not their fault, but that might not bode well for them later on in the year, depending on how the season pans out. And so, in my opinion, these two teams might be the best shot the West has in having a representative for the Big Ten Championship later on this year. In December, I believe it is, this year. So, without further ado, let's take a look at our items for digestion this episode. Both teams are undefeated, as I've already said. Neither team has played a team with a current winning record until now. Purdue missed last week due to Wisconsin having to decline due to too many positive COVID-19 cases. I'm not making light of that. That is very serious, and I really do feel bad for Wisconsin. Hopefully those kids can bounce back this week, which we'll talk about in another episode. Wisconsin is playing Michigan, but we'll not talk about that here. Unfortunately for Purdue, that is one last chance to be tested prior to this game. Purdue did get a rest week last week, but will it come back to bite them? We shall see. Northwestern flattened a Maryland team in Week 1 of the Big Ten season, I should say, that defeated both Penn State and Minnesota. Why is that a big deal, them beating Minnesota? Because Minnesota was supposed to be good this year until Michigan knocked them off the face of the earth. And then, of course, Michigan got knocked off the face of the earth at the hands of Indiana last week. We don't know how good any team is in the Big Ten so far, except maybe Ohio State, but even that is to be determined. First time these two teams have played each other undefeated since before conference realignment. That was in 2014, just in case you all didn't know. Well, actually, I think that might have been 2012. I can't swear to it. I think it might have been when Nebraska entered the Big Ten, so I do apologize. But still, these teams have not played each other undefeated in quite some time, nonetheless. So let's look at who these teams have played so far. Number 23, Northwestern, sitting at 3-0. Crushed Maryland, 43-3. A tough but good victory at Iowa, 21-20. And then did beat a reeling, but a team that tries anyway, Nebraska, did beat them at home 21-13. Purdue beat Iowa, again, is a common opponent, type of opponent, but we're not going to look at that too much just because of the turmoil that is surrounding that program anyway. That I'm not going to talk about here, but Purdue did beat them at home 24-20 in Week 1, and then beat the Illini in Champaign 31-24. Those have been the two games that Purdue has played thus far, which is why they're 2-0. So we'll first look at Northwestern's crushing victory against Maryland, where they did dominate on all sides of the ball. And if we look here, this shows how right through the middle of the field goes Northwestern, and then look at Peyton Ramsey running for a good gain there. First down, Northwestern scored the next play. And then here is Maryland throwing a pick, way overthrown, and that was a good catch by Northwestern secondary. You'll see Northwestern did dominate truly on all sides of the ball. Look at that. Got hit on the delivery, but still completed it to his man on the outside. Good throw by Peyton Ramsey. Again, under pressure, boom, beautiful throw. 1st and 10 for Northwestern. I mean, it's just you can see the trend here. Northwestern Maryland did not have a chance. How they scored 3 points against the Northwestern team, I don't even understand. Northwestern got just demolished in this game. And here's another example of a turnover for Maryland. Overthrew again, interception. That's what Northwestern is good at, is opportunistic on defense, and is a solid football team on offense. Boom, sacked Tagovailoa. That is Tua's younger brother. I just can't remember his first name offhand. But here's another good run for Northwestern. That is their strong suit, and food for thought, Purdue, you may want to stop that running attack. That would be your one of your keys to the game. And here's why I say all sides of the ball instead of both sides of the ball. Boom! Special teams gets the turnover for Northwestern. Another easy pitch and catch for the Wildcats. 37-3. And here's one more nail in the coffin for Northwestern. An excellent sack. That was pretty much your game. Northwestern did win it 44-3. So let's look at the tails of the tape from that game as far as the stats go. They held Maryland to only 14 first downs, 3 of 11 on 3rd down. That is domination, boys and girls. Less than 100 yards rushing, only 64 yards on the ground for Maryland, only 143 yards through the air. In this day and age, with the high-flying offenses that we have, only allowing 143 yards of passing, that is dominance, my friends. That's dominance. Now, 18 of 29 passing, Northwestern should have forced a few more incompletions, but we'll let that one slide here. 0 passing touchdowns and threw 3 picks. Again, domination by Northwestern. Only allowed 207 total offensive yards to the Terps. This same Terp team, but again, did beat Penn State and Minnesota. Terps committed 6 penalties for 60 yards, committed 4 turnovers, and only had the ball for 22 minutes and 39 seconds. That's controlling the tempo and the pace of the game, Northwestern. And on Northwestern's side, 31 first downs, 50% 3rd down efficiency, 8 of 16 to be exact, 325 yards on the ground. That's dominating the line of scrimmage, and only had 212 yards through the air. But if you're running 325 yards on the ground, you don't really need to throw the ball much anyway. But when Northwestern did throw the ball, they're quite efficient. 23 of 30 passing, 1 touchdown thrown, and 0 picks. In fact, Northwestern had 0 turnovers, 537 yards of total offense, did commit 5 penalties for only 48 yards. This team has always been good, though, as far as not beating themselves with penalties since Fitzgerald has been their coach, and held on to the ball for 37 minutes and 21 seconds. Quite impressive for Northwestern. Now we'll look at Purdue's tough, hard-fought victory against Iowa. Not a stat-friendly game for Purdue, as we'll look at here in a moment, but you'll see how hard the Boilermakers did fight against not a horrible Iowa team, but an Iowa team that is reeling behind the scenes, so to speak, with all their legal problems. We'll look at some of the highlights here. And that's an excellent pitch and catch for Purdue. 1st down, Boilermakers. And here is their first scoring play of the game. A nice pitch and catch to the back of the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Boilermakers. Blake Bell, I believe, is who that was. And then Iowa comes racing back. This was a very hard-fought game. Good pitch and catch for Iowa, 1st down Hawkeyes, but here is where Purdue did well, forcing turnovers. Here's one here. Boom. Boilermakers ball, 1st down Purdue. But, again, Purdue had their own fair share of troubles. Getting a sack inside of your own 10 is not good for the Boilermakers. And then here's another miscue on defense for the Boilermakers. Touchdown. You cannot allow a touchdown there on 3rd and goal. You had them dead to rights, could have forced a field goal, but no, you allowed them to go waltzing into the end zone for a touchdown for Iowa. And here's another good play for Iowa. Bad one for Purdue's defense. 1st down, Hawkeyes. And again, bad news for the Boilermakers. And again, 3rd and goal, touchdown, Hawkeyes on the next play. Boilermakers have to force Northwestern into going for 3 there instead of allowing them to get 7. That's going to kill them. But a good play there for Purdue. And a good sack. I mean, Purdue it wasn't all bad. Of course, they won the game. But Purdue allowed Iowa to stay in it for far too long. You do that against Northwestern, you will lose. A bad throw by O'Connell. 1st down, Iowa. And they did end up getting a field goal. Now, this was a good run, an excellent hurdle by that running back. 1st down, Purdue. Excellent run for the Boilermakers. And here is a good interception, I should say, by Iowa. I was about to say good throw for Purdue, but that was not. That was overthrown, and it was a good catch by the Iowa defender. Here's another miscue for Purdue. Sacked, big loss on 3rd and 5, and Iowa, they both exchanged field goals. But here is your dagger for Purdue. Good pitch and catch. That did decide the game, but here is Iowa's last chance, 4th and 10. Incomplete. Purdue did win the game, but it should not have been that close. If Purdue could have stopped Iowa on even one of those 3rd and goals, that game would have been over far before that point. So, let's look at the tail of the tape from that Iowa-Purdue game. Again, it's not great for Purdue, but as I said up top, discipline and forcing Iowa into mistakes was key here in Purdue's win, not the stat line. Games are not played on paper, boys and girls. They are played on the field. You don't necessarily have to look good on paper to win, but paper does help us to tell the story. So, Iowa did get 19 1st downs, but only 4 of 13 on 3rd down, which was very good for Purdue. But 2 of those conversions were touchdowns on 3rd and goal. So, definitely a knock against Purdue. Did allow 195 rushing yards to Iowa. That's not controlling the line of scrimmage. Only did allow 265 passing yards. Pretty good considering a lot of teams do get over 300. So not bad. But did allow Iowa's quarterbacks 22 of 39 on passing. Didn't force a pick, but didn't allow a passing touchdown either. But did allow 460 yards of total offense. Iowa did shoot themselves in the foot a lot, though, committing 10 penalties for 100 yards. Purdue did force 2 turnovers, however. And the time of possession was pretty much a push. I'm not really going to say that was a factor for really either team, although Purdue could have tried to control that a little bit better. Now, Purdue did get 24 1st downs on offense, but only converted 6 of 16 on 3rd down. Got to convert more of those 3rd downs. That's your money down. You have to keep your offense on the field going against a Northwestern team that will try to hog all the time of possession. You only got 104 yards on the ground. Got to get that higher against the Northwestern team that also likes to run the football. Only 282 yards through the air, not great. Yeah, they should have made that yellow. It's not horrible, but you really want to get over 300 yards passing if you're only going to get 100 yards on the ground. And you threw the ball 50 times, 31 of 50, for only 282 passing yards. That's definitely a head scratcher in my book. Did throw 3 passing touchdowns, but also threw 2 picks. Had 386 yards of total offense, but you only committed 3 penalties for 21 yards. Not bad. But you did commit 2 turnovers yourself, so you didn't exactly win the turnover battle. But at least 0 turnover margin isn't horrible. It isn't great either, obviously. So let's look at the last 5 meetings between these two teams. Last year, of course, Purdue did beat Northwestern in Evanston 24-22. In 2018, Northwestern did beat Purdue in West Lafayette. 2017, Purdue it wasn't really a horrible game, but the 25th ranked Wildcats in that year did beat Purdue 23-13 in Evanston. 2016, again, Northwestern this time demolished the Boilermakers in West Lafayette 45-17. And in 2015, Northwestern won again, this time at home, this time ranked 18, but it was a close game, 21-14. So, obviously, Northwestern has dominated the last 5 meetings. Purdue did win, of course, last year. So, Northwestern wins if they can play sound, disciplined football, minimizing penalties and turnovers given up, unlike Iowa. Exert their will physically against a weaker opponent, which Purdue has shown that they are comparatively weaker up front, only getting 104 yards on the ground and allowing almost 200 yards. That's not a strong defensive front in my mind. So Northwestern needs to exploit that by grinding out long offensive series with plenty of running plays to eat the clock and wear out Purdue's defense. Demoralize that defense is also why you should have said there. Taking that momentum and keeping it. You must blitz and blitz often on defense to keep O'Connell stressed in the pocket, forcing him into throwing the ball before he wants to, and possibly overthrowing his receivers right into the hands of some of the Northwestern defenders, which is what they did very well against Maryland. So Purdue wins if they commit fewer penalties than Northwestern and take advantage of Northwestern's miscues on offense, which Purdue did very well against Iowa, giving their offense consistent short field possessions. Again, did very well against Iowa. Need to convert on third down to keep that offense on the field and Northwestern's off of it. Because, of course, again, Northwestern is going to try to control the time of possession. Consistently need to get into third and manageables, not take sacks on third and say 5, which is what Purdue did on one of those plays that we looked at in the video. In order to make third down conversions more attainable, you need to consistently get into third and shorts and convert on those and not take sacks. Stack the box if necessary on defense to shut down Northwestern's running attack. You have to force Peyton Ramsey into being a one-dimensional quarterback. Force him to stay in the pocket and throw that ball instead of using his legs and beating you there, because he can also beat you with his legs, as Maryland found out. So, who wins this game? Who is going to be the victor in my mind? This is an interesting matchup because they're both undefeated. And they're both not really that battle-tested, except I think Northwestern has played a tougher opponent in Maryland than Purdue has. In fact, I take it back in my items for digestion. Northwestern has beaten a team that is currently with a winning record. That was Maryland. So, who am I going to pick? I am taking, wait for it, drum roll, Northwestern 45-28. Why do you say that? Why am I taking Northwestern? I'm taking Northwestern because I do believe they're going to grind against that weaker Purdue front. I believe Purdue can stack the box 9, 10 people in the box, cover 0. They're still not going to stop Northwestern's running attack. I believe Northwestern is that strong, that tough up front, and I believe they're going to grind out a victory, and they're going to demoralize that Purdue defense. I believe Purdue will get some spots. I believe they'll get some sparks, may force some turnovers, but by and large, I think Northwestern dominates this game 45-28. So please do like, share, subscribe. If you do like what I do here, please let your friends know. I definitely appreciate new viewers. I know a lot of my viewers are people that I already know. I'd love to get viewers of people that I don't know, and maybe even have a little conversation down there in the comments. I don't get many comments, so if I see one, I'll of course reply back to you. Unless you're a troll, then I'll probably just ignore you. But again, thank you for watching. Again, please do like the video if you liked it. Dislike it if you don't like it. And thank you for watching, and stay safe out there.